1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable build-ups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
One may find themselves asking, what are socialism and communism? Well, it's a promise that never gets delivered because totalitarianism gets in the way. The promise of socialism or communism is free stuff, but before anyone can get any of the free stuff, the government has to confiscate the stuff and take the government's cut of the stolen stuff. Totalitarianism. The end result is very little free stuff is available for the people who supported this whole idea of socialism or communism. And the people who opposed the change get killed. 100 years of communism and 100 million dead. Socialist and communist leaders simply want to be at the top of the pyramid, in control, and avoid the whole totalitarianism part themselves. This is what some people call reverse Robin Hood. Take from the poor and give to the rich. You and I get death or nothing, and the leaders get it all. This is why socialism and communism do not work. Exclusive. The feds locked down a dangerous lawsuit that threatens to expose the Clinton Foundation in one of the biggest public thefts in U.S. history. Even the feds, the DOJ, the IRS, the FBI, are calling it the most dangerous lawsuit in America, one that threatens to expose the massive Clinton global fraud of epic proportions. A big reason why the federal bench has sealed the case. Thomas Paine, from over at the True Pundit, detailed this little-known lawsuit that has rogue factions of the federal intelligence apparatus as well as DC elites scurrying and beyond concerned. Paine detailed the controversial case on his podcast on Tuesday night.
As we sent our appeal in with a photocopy of the FBI and the IRS CID on the jackets removing boxes from the Clinton Foundation after they had brought a 757 down and taken all the materials out of the Clinton Foundation, Little Rock, Arkansas. We sent that with our appeal to demonstrate to the IRS that your letter coming from Atlanta doesn't reconcile with what's going on in Little Rock.
Yep, that's what we do. Well, there we go. The best minute and 20 seconds of the week with my 70s police cop show intro. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. I know I say that every week, but it really is a lot of stuff going on this week. And today, Tuesday, was completely insane in Washington. on the Department of Justice or the Department of Injustice, depending on how you feel about it. You know how I feel about it and where I stand on it. I've talked so much on the phone today, and we did our Patreon show earlier tonight. I've been talking all day like a fool. Now I know what it's like to be on Fox. You guys thought I was going to lead off with an old FBI clip about J. Edgar Hoover. I've been doing that for the last couple weeks. People are like, oh, I really like those. And today I said, boom, I'm going to change it up. Throw people a curveball out there. That was from my House Oversight meeting on the Clinton Foundation. So you can imagine where we're going to be going with this. But very interesting. And that came 4 months after True Pundit reported that there was a 757 owned by the Justice Department that was parked on a runway in Little Rock, Arkansas, and federal agents were loading boxes of evidence onto it. The story broke in August 2008, and people said, oh, you're crazy. You're making stuff up. They weren't loading evidence. That's not a Justice Department plane. We traced the tail number. It belongs to the Justice Department. We traced the flight. Left from Virginia and ended up in Little Rock, Arkansas. Then people were taking film and pictures of the FBI and the IRS, Criminal Investigation Division, loading boxes on, coming from the Clinton Foundation. And then, it came out 6 months later, 5 months later in this congressional hearing, and people were like, oh, you guys were right. Well, you're still full of crap, but you always seem to be right. I mean, you can't stop trying to impress these people a long time ago, and we just decided we're just going to do what we do. Criminal Investigation Division loading boxes on, coming from the Clinton Foundation. And then, it came out 6 months later, 5 months later in this congressional hearing, and people were like, oh, you guys were right. Well, you're still full of crap, but you always seem to be right. I mean, you can't stop trying to impress these people a long time ago, and we just decided we're just going to do what we do. Let the chips fall where they may. This isn't a beauty contest, because if it was, we'd win every damn time compared to some of these other journalists out there. But yeah, it's not a beauty contest. It's not a popularity contest. We don't really give a shit if you like us or not. We're on a mission from God. Where have we heard that before? But yeah, we have a certain mission. We want to disassemble the FBI and dismantle the Justice Department so they can be rebuilt again in the strength and likeness the Founding Fathers had in mind, not this corrupt circus that it has morphed into. That's our mission. So
I encourage you to listen to that Thomas Paine podcast in full on this little known lawsuit. Again, I'm Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you. And where we go one, we go all. The link will be down below in the description box. Take a look. It'll be the very last thing at the very end of everything else. Down below. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video on your way out, and think about joining the membership, joining the Patriot Hour family. Again, that is right next to the subscribe button. Thank you.